Now, let's begin. So, it's my pleasure to introduce your first speaker, His Excellency Stuart Richard Young, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries in the Government of Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Young was a practicing attorney before being elected to Parliament in 2015. Since then, he has served in several ministerial capabilities as Minister of the Ministry of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, Minister of State, Minister of Communications, and Minister of National Security. So I leave you in very good hands. Minister, please welcome to the stage.
Good morning. It's indeed a pleasure and a privilege to share some thoughts and views with you all here this morning. Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not sure how many of you in the room know anything about Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is about 5,100 square kilometers, just about 1,980 square miles. We're a small twin island state, the southernmost Caribbean islands. Why are we here? We have been exploiting oil for over 100 years. We have had a very, very forward gas industry for over 25 years. We are acknowledged as one of the industry players, especially in the gas industry. So our economy is a hydrocarbon industry. We've been very competitive. Our gas is utilized in the production of LNG. We have a 4-train facility with 3 trains working. And then we have also ammonia and methanol. We have urea, UAN. So in the current global landscape, we've become, we believe, increasingly important in providing energy security, not only for the region, but we've been doing so at a global level. Just under a decade and a half ago, we were the single largest LNG producer and supplier for the eastern seaboard of the United States. Of course, all of this now has to move to the transition and through the transition to the next phases and the next stages. And we as a government are looking at how do we keep Trinidad and Tobago competitive in the current global landscape. One thing that I've been speaking about all over, and as much as people would listen, Trinidad and Tobago is unique in that right now we're the only province in the world that has immediate available capacity, and what we need is in natural gas. But that's a different story. Where we also fit into this unique picture is global climate change. We as a small island state are facing the effects, as our CARICOM, Caribbean brothers and sister nations, of global climate change. This season alone, the type of rainfalls, the hurricanes, the very, very dry seasons, etc. So we are using our voices at the forefront to try and push the more developed countries with their responsibility to assist in this global climate change and the reduction of greenhouse gases. So that moves us straight into our unique position with our gas industry. We used to produce about 4.1 billion BCF of gas a day. Right now, because we're a mature province, we're down to just under 3 BCF of gas a day. And as I said, that goes into both LNG and major ammonia and methanol production. In fact, in 2021, we were the second largest exporter of ammonia in the world. Hydrogen. Hydrogen fits directly into that. We right now, we have about 5 million tons capacity to produce ammonia a year. We actually, last year, exported about 3.2 million tons, metric tons of ammonia. Out of that, the hydrogen usage is about 2.64 to about 3.4 million tons a year. So we have been using hydrogen in the production of ammonia, about 75% in ammonia, 25% in our methanol production. But of course, it's gray hydrogen. Trinidad and Tobago is moving to keep our products competitive as the global environment changes. How are we looking to do that? The first stage is in the carbon capture, sequestration, and utilization. Again, the forefathers were brilliant enough to build all of these plants, the ammonia and the methanol, the urea, the UAN plants, on an industrial estate. So they are all located within close proximity of each other. And these are where the opportunities come for you all to invest in Trinidad and Tobago as we look at moving now as a government into the CCSU. What the vision is we can help all of those plants capture the carbon to help them with their decarbonization, to move to blue hydrogen. And then what we will do is, because we've been exploiting the oil for over 100 years, we are currently doing the study to see where that carbon can be injected and sequestered into the ground. So that's going to be the first stage as we move towards that. And the vision is, because we have all of these plants in one area, that we can work along with private sector. We will move to put in place the legislation, the regulations, etc., to help those who have invested in these plants stay competitive, as we recognize that globally, the cleaner the energy products going forward in the future, the better. That's the first stage. We're also moving rapidly to introduce renewables into the landscape. We're about to sign off on 112.2 megawatts, which might have solar power into our grid. It mightn't sound like much to the big developed nations. It's going to be the largest investment in solar in our part of the region, and certainly in the CARICOM region. That's going to be the first step. We're currently doing studies with the IDB to see whether, because we're an island state on our east coast, especially on the northeast side, face the Atlantic, whether we can put down significant wind farms there. And that's going to be the next phase as we move into this hydrogen world that we want to. So we see the use of all of these renewables, firstly the solar, and then the wind farms, to be able to help us to produce the hydrogen through the new and growing technologies, to then introduce that into the energy security of Trinidad and Tobago as we utilize our natural gas in other areas. So the message here today is, even us, small island states, are looking at and utilizing the new technologies and trying to be at the forefront of the energy transition that's taking place. But we continue to need the investment, the technology, the interest from the larger developing states. And I'm certain that many of you here would be able to find some sort of investment opportunities where we are in Trinidad and Tobago. We see the continuation of natural gas and the use of natural gas going for many, many decades. But for the children, for our grandchildren, our children, and for those who need to inherit a cleaner earth and a safer earth, we, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, are taking the decisions now to ensure that we clean up and to decarbonize. We're also doing things on methane. And we see hydrogen as being a very important part and a player in this. So the message is, as we look forward to energy security for our region, and I've been saying it's not only the CARICOM, but also LATAM, the Latin American region, because we have a role to play there as well, especially within recent times and the conflicts we're seeing globally when it comes to being able to supply them with natural gas and these other clean types of energy. We are going to do our part. We're going to clean up our methanol, clean up our ammonia, other products. We're also now in the phase of negotiating with the multinationals that own the LNG trains to see how we can also move in the future to better decarbonization of those products. So we're doing our part, and it's indeed a pleasure that such a small twin island state as Trinidad and Tobago can be asked to come to an important conference like this to share what it is we're doing and to put us at the forefront, hopefully, of your conversations. So there are opportunities on the CCSU side, there are opportunities on the hydrogen side, there are opportunities on the renewable side, with existing infrastructure in the production of all of the commodities that I've just named. So we will continue to play our part and do our role to contribute to the energy security that's taking place, that conversation, and also the production of our commodities, hopefully in a cleaner environment and using the technology that exists. As we sit here and we listen to all of the exciting things you all are doing, and your companies and the governments are doing, we will do our part to participate as well. I'd like to thank you all very much for the opportunity to just share these few moments and few minutes with you as we let you know what is happening at Trinidad and Tobago, the small twin island state that has been contributing for decades at the forefront of the global energy security conversation that is taking place. And I wish you all of the best in the continuation of today. Thank you. Thank you very much.